Hey, what's up, everybody? Terry White here, and I've got some updates to show you across the Lightroom ecosystem. Let's start off in Lightroom Classic, one of my favorites. I'm going to show you this because a lot of people still don't know it's here, and it's a work in progress. You're getting early access to assisted culling. So in Lightroom Classic is over here on the right-hand panel. You see that it says early access, so it's not finished yet, still working on it, but this version gets some updates. So what is it? Assisted culling, for example, I've got a collection here of 1,029 photos. And if I were to turn this down, I can see that I can start to cull through, which means um, show me the best photos and reject the ones that don't meet my criteria. That's what this is all about. Now, reject is a strong word. It doesn't mean throw them away. It just simply means identify them. Maybe I'll peruse those later and just show me the ones that are best, or maybe I'll go straight to the rejects and make sure they're okay before I actually reject them. So in this case, I want to see all the photos that are in focus. And you get a focus score, a slider. You can say, hey, they really got to be in focus, or they can be, a little bit out of focus. So I usually keep it around 80%. Show me the ones that are definitely eyes in focus. Now I'm more of a stickler for that. So I have that set to 90%. And then show me the ones that, of course, the eyes are open. And as you can see, as I start to click through these, it's starting to put little red X's and little green check marks by the ones that either meet or don't meet that criteria. Now, as we all know, sometimes you might have documents and receipts in your photos, especially if they came from your phone. That's not the case here. But you could also have misfires where you accidentally photographed the ground or something that was obscure, and of course, ones where the flash didn't fire, exposure issues. So after going through this, and now it's analyzing those photos, but after it analyzes the photos, you would have the ability to view your selects and rejects. Now, mine have already really processed. I'm going to go straight to the rejects. So it rejected 328 and basically gave me 700 selects. Now, what's a reject? Well, what does that mean? I don't know. Like, for example, this photo looks fine. Why is it rejected? If I hover over the X, it'll show me why. It says the subject focus did not meet my score. That doesn't mean it's a bad photo. It just means, hey, you told us to check the ones that are in focus based on a certain number. This one doesn't meet that criteria. Now, you could certainly go in, you could say, yeah, it's a little soft. I could see that. I could see why you rejected it. And you could absolutely right click and say, no, 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 keep that as a select, and then it will put it back in the selects. So at the end of the day, you get final say so over what's a select and what's a reject. Now, you might say, well, Terry, if I got to go through them and check its work, then how's it saving me any time? Because I'm only having to go through and check 327 potential problems, which most likely they're not, but just in case, versus having to go through all 1,000 and look at them. Because I know the 701 are good, or the 700 are good. I'm only having to scroll through the rejects and check those. So for example, you can also say, hey, just show me the ones that or misfires and exposure issues. So you can just really get down to the ones that, hey, I know these are going to be rejects. They're out of focus. A great shot at someone's feet. This one looks flash and fire. So yeah, just let me go ahead and reject those quickly. So you can use this any way you want. Now you might be saying, well, Terry, that's cool. What's new about it? What's new about this new assisted culling? Well, in this version, it's actually doing a better job when you have multiple people in the shot, because you could have a group shot of multiple people where only one person, their eyes are closed. And if that's important to you, yeah, I kind of want to know that. So let me pop over to Lightroom, because I got beat up last time. I didn't show enough diversity between Lightroom and Lightroom Classic. So I'm going to go back and forth just to show you that, yeah, the features in both, and also just to kind of give love to both platforms. So in this case, I've got, or both surfaces. In this case, I've got assisted culling that's on the left side in Lightroom Desktop, and the same thing. I can say, show me the ones that are in focus, show me the ones where the eyes are open. This is a much smaller group, so it's going to be a lot faster, and the misfires and exposure issues. Now I see that there's 2 rejects out of the 6 photos. Let me see those. And sure enough, one of those photos, I know for a fact, because I know this old photo of a family shot here. This one person, their eyes are closed. That's my mom, by the way. And she was always like eyes closed during a flash shoot and whatever. Anyway, so her eyes are closed and therefore it marked it as a reject because of that. So assisted culling improved models for doing a better job of identifying selects and rejects. Now, once you've got your selects and rejects, let me go back to this, for example, in Classic. Let's just pop over here for a second. You can say, for example, let's go through all of these again, turn them back on. You could say when you're done, you can auto stack based on a visual or similarity capture time. That's auto stacking in general. But you can also say batch actions. So I can say, hey, for all my selects, apply a pick flag. And hey, just mark those as the ones that are good. Or I could say for hey, all the rejects, mark those with a rejected flag. Or a color rating or a label. Hey, maybe I just want to apply a color or a rating that, hey, those are 2 stars. I'm not throwing them away yet, but I know the 2-star ones are not good. So I can just always filter on that. So that way I don't have to keep coming back to the assisted culling. You can also add them to a collection, which is what I like to do. I like to add my selects to a new collection or album that are just the selects. In other words, that don't include the rejects. So assisted culling is a great tool for not only just portrait photographers now, but also people that do maybe weddings or where you have a lot of group shots. And people always ask me, well, hey, I'm a landscape shooter or I'm a wildlife shooter. Will this help me? Well, it may not help you for eyes in focus or eyes open, but subject focus is still subject focus. It's looking at the subject of the photo and seeing if it's in focus. So give it a shot, even if you're not a portrait shooter, just to help you identify the ones that are in focus or not. And again, this is a work in progress. It will keep getting better. All right, so next up, let me go to another collection here. And in this collection, I want to show you something that, when we talk about generative AI, there are people that are on the pro side and there are people that are on the con side. And I get it. This is a tool you can use or not use. It's totally up to you. But I've got this photo here, and this is a classic example for me where I have lots of photos, but I didn't shoot video. I say I'm going to get a tattoo here that says, don't forget to shoot video. Still haven't got the tattoo. Well, in this case, I would love to have a video maybe for social media of this person just not standing still. So I'm going to right click and I now have the ability to simply say, generate in Firefly, generate video from image. And when I pop it over to Firefly, first of all, it brings it up in the Firefly website. It lets me choose a video model. I'm just going to leave it on V031. It lets you choose a resolution, so I can do 720 or 1080p, how many frames per second, so forth and so on. So I'm just going to leave it on the default. But my prompt would be, have the model walk from the left side of the frame to the right side and wave. So that would be my prompt, and I would click generate. And it also tells me how many credits it's going to use based on the model and the size and all that. So I hit generate. We're not going to wait for that because it takes a while. So let's go ahead and just look at one I've already done. Here it is, using that same prompt, and let's play it. And it can bring life to your still photos and let you use them as videos. So just like that, we could have a video for the website, video for social media using our still photography. So again, use it or not. It's up to you. All right, next up, let's pop back over to Lightroom. Now, in Lightroom, you might remember I also had the one where it was a group shot and mom's eyes were closed. Well, you also have the ability to share or send to Firefly to edit a photo. So we did video in Classic. Now we're in Lightroom Desktop. Same thing. We can do video or photo in either one. And so that'll send it over as a still and then let you choose, again, the model you want. I usually go with Nano Banana Pro for anything where I want to keep the character consistent, but you could use anything. You can also use the new Firefly Image 5 preview. Use whichever model you want. And then you could say things like, restore this photo by removing the dust and scratches, and make sure that everyone's eyes are open, and colorize the photo to make it look as if it were taken with a modern day mirrorless camera. So I could just have pasted this in, but I want you to really see how easy it is to just do an English prompt. All right, so why would you do this? Well, you could send it over to Photoshop if you are good at Photoshop or you have Photoshop in your plan. But if you didn't have Photoshop in your plan and you just had Lightroom, you could actually do this on the Firefly website. So your choice, wherever you want to do this kind of work, you want to do it manually in Photoshop, head over to Photoshop and do it. You want to do it in Photoshop's generative fill, go ahead and Photoshop generative fill and do it that way. Or if you don't have those skills or don't have the Photoshop as part of your plan, you can now send it directly from Lightroom Classic or Lightroom Desktop over to Firefly. Now, we'll give that a few seconds. And again, also I could point out too that this model gives you a choice between 1K and 2K because the resolution is continuing to improve. That's one of the other concerns people have is that do this only to get low resolution results. And now you can actually choose a different resolution. All right, you know what? I was going to say, I'm not going to wait for that. Let's pop over to where I've actually done it. Here's the after. I'm just going to quickly zoom in, and mom's eyes are now open. So again, it's just amazing what you can do. Here's the before. Mom's eyes were closed. Yep. And the after. We'll pop over to the after where mom's eyes are open. And look at the beautiful colors. Look at the colors and just outfits that it did everyone and skin tones and just amazing. Kept everyone's faces looking the same. So pretty cool to be able to do this now directly from Lightroom. Let's pop back over to Lightroom and let's do one more. So I'm going to turn off the assisted culling to get all the photos back. And I showed this as a sneak last week, but I'm going to show it now as part of the product. And that is Upscale, generative upscale using Topaz Gigapixel. So in this case, I've got this, I used this photo last time of my great grandmother. This is her husband, great grandfather. And so we're going to go ahead and select that photo. And I believe it's under the photo menu, generative upscale. And that will come up with the dialog box. You could choose upscale to 2x or 4x. And it will tell you how many credits it's going to use. And you can also twirl down and see your credit balance. So I'm loving this new dialog box that's giving you a clear indication of what it's going to cost, if anything, and what the balance is. So you can see check before you do it. All right, so let's go ahead and generate that. And one mistake I made when I did the snake, a couple people were like, well, you didn't zoom in at 100% to show it. So I screenshotted it at 100% and posted it as a response to those comments. But today I'll make sure that I zoom into 100% to show it to you. So give that a few seconds to finish. And there it is. It popped in. I think it sometimes will stack. I can't remember if it stacks them together by default or not. But anyway, it popped in, and here they are. I'm going to move it over so it's right next to it. And so I can see which one's which. This is the original that's selected now, the 832 by 1248K image. And this one is now 3328 by 4992. So this is the higher resolution. So let's do the compare, which is what I did last time. We'll view, we'll compare both of those. And again, which one's which? The one on the left now is the high res. The one on the right is the low res. And let's just go ahead and zoom that up to 100%. And this one, now this one was already at 100%. This one, yeah, so see fit 100%. So that's the small one. And then we'll check this one to make sure that it's at 100% as well. So maintaining that quality, and even if I zoom this one up beyond 100%, now you're not gaining anything. I mean, it's not going to make it better. It's just not going to make it worse. So in other words, you're going to have the higher resolution image that is the same quality as the one you had. So it looks, I don't know, it looks a little better, but it should be exactly the same in terms of quality, if not a little better. I can see a little bit more grain in his nose than I see over here, so it looks a little bit sharper, but that's great. It's even better. So 100%, and this one is also now 100%. So for those that said I didn't show that last time, there you go. All right, so there's some updates on mobile as well. Mobile gets some improvements in terms of performance in the crop, and sharing now is easier to be able to share photos and be able to make selections while you're in the share screen of additional photos in the same album. I know my Lightroom Classic users are always asking, hey, when's Lightroom Classic going to be performing better, doing better? There are several performance improvements in Lightroom Classic as well across the board. So you can check more of those out on the website to get the specifics of what performance improvements were made, as well as any other features that were added that I didn't show. So with that said, cheers everyone. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye everybody.